Okay, MCU update, all the stuff leading up to Avengers Endgame. So, way back in the 1940s in World War II, I guess like the Nazis or found something called the Tesseract, super powerful alien thing. The Allies used it to make some super serum that made Captain America, um, and to stop bad guys from doing something, he got frozen in like the Arctic, but he gets brought back to the present later on. What happens next? Oh yeah, then in the 90s, an Earth woman, she gets taken up into space, then she gets made this super powerful alien soldier. She comes back to Earth and she rediscovers her identity, finds out the alien people who gave her superpowers and stuff, they're the bad guys. She fights them and she goes off to space, but she meets Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson's character, gives him a special beeper that says, message me if something happens. So she goes off into space and he starts to create the Avengers. Then what happens next is 2008, Tony Stark is being this playboy philanthropist genius who's great at tech. He is demonstrating tech in the battlefield. Then he gets captured. While there, he makes the Iron Man outfit. Then when he comes back, he makes the real legit version, and he becomes all gung-ho about helping people and stuff, and reveals to the world that he's a superhero after some big boss battle. What happens next? Oh yeah, then Thor, let's see. Thor is in Asgard. He's a bit of a brat, gets banished to Earth, find out his brother Loki is starting trouble. They get into a fight, and his brother Loki falls into some dimensional thingy, but he comes back for Avengers Infinity War. Oh no, just the first Avengers. What happens next? Oh yeah, so a couple of in-between movies that are like sequels to the other ones. Then one of them being in Iron Man 2, we see Scarlett Johansson's character. At first we think she's just a secretary, but Nick Fury assigned her to keep an eye on Tony Stark, and she's basically like a secret agent / superhero. The next thing that happens is Avengers. Oh no, wait, there's a Hulk movie in there. It happens sometime before Thor. You know the Hulk. He gets hit by gamma radiation. He's got crazy powers. There's an in-credit scene at that where Tony Stark says, I'm putting together a team of superheroes. And then we go into the first Avengers. They're all... yeah. So what happens is Loki comes to Earth. There's this powerful scepter, and he uses it to try to open up a gateway for an army of monsters to come through. And all the people we've mentioned before, they have to team up together and stop him, which they do, and they take the Tesseract back, they get the scepter, and it's put away. And then there's some more Thor and Iron Man movies. And then what happens? Oh, Captain America, there's a movie there where they find out that the agency S.H.I.E.L.D., which Nick Fury belongs to, is compromised and by a secret society called Hydra, and they've been trying to come back in the shadows. Captain America finds that out, stops it. Meanwhile, he finds out his friend Bucky Barnes from World War II, who he thought died, wasn't, but got brainwashed and turned to a super soldier, and now he's set on bringing him back. I think he escapes. It's been a while. So what happens next? Oh yeah, then there's Age of Ultron, where they go and they try to find the remnants of Hydra, and Tony Stark and Bruce Banner, the Hulk, they make this super powerful AI called Ultron, which is voiced by James Spader, and he was like, oh man, humanity sucks, I'm going to destroy everything. And so they do that. So they try and fight him. Another powerful robot called Vision gets made in the process, and he's cool. He's the opposite of Ultron. They all fight. Ultron gets destroyed, and then Captain America Civil War 2 happens, where they say like, oh, superheroes cause so much destruction, we need to regulate them. And Iron Man is all like, yeah, I agree. Then, but Captain America isn't. And then there's some world summit. They think that Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier, was responsible, but it's this other guy. And this is where we meet Black Panther. What happens next? And so, yeah. So, Tony Stark is like, yeah, we gotta regulate. Captain America is like, no. And there's some big conspiracy. They try to find out what happened with Bucky. Oh, and at this point, the MCU Spider-Man gets introduced because Sony owns Spider-Man, but they made some bad movies. So Kevin Feige, head of Marvel, said, hey, why don't we work on this together? And this is where we see that iteration of the character. So Tony Stark goes to New York, to Queens, New York, to find him. He brings him in, and he gives him the iconic suit. And then there's fighting, and then Tony Stark realizes, wait a minute, something's up. So him, Captain America, Winter Soldier, Bucky, they go to this base, but then they find out that Bucky, brainwashed, killed Tony Stark's parents, and so then there's a big fight between Iron Man, Captain America, and the Winter Soldier, and Captain America wins, and then he leaves. Oh, and in between that, there was one of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, which if you haven't seen that, they're great. And then there's the Black Panther movie, and then the Spider-Man Homecoming. Black Panther is a movie about a king trying to discover himself and prove he can be king. And there's an usurper named Killmonger who he had it rough, and he tries to fight, and he does become king for a bit, but then Black Panther comes back. And then Spider-Man Homecoming is not another origin story. It's him trying to manage being a superhero and a high schooler at the same time. Then we have Infinity War. The big bad guy Thanos has been put in all the other movies. He comes to Earth, and there are a bunch of different fights on all different fronts. Oh, quick interruption. Before that, there was another movie called Doctor Strange, which has Benedict Cumberbatch as the Sorcerer Supreme. He does magic and stuff. So anyway, in Infinity War, there's fights on Earth. There's this big Lord of the Rings-esque battle in the Kingdom of Wakanda, which Black Panther rules. And Tony Stark and Peter Parker and some other guys, they go to Thanos' planet Titan, and they fight. He gets all the Infinity Stones, and at the end of it, he snaps his finger, and a bunch of people die. And that's what basically leads up to Endgame. There were some other movies that were in between. I forget what they were, but anyway, yeah, I thought it would be a lot more brief with that, but there you go. And Endgame is just wow, and it's kind of a testament to Stan Lee's legacy, which I really hope he got to see at least a rough cut or something of this movie, because it's pretty awesome.